What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it seems very soon to already be changing my spider team. So about a week or so ago, I did a video talking about a spider stage 10 hard team using Cishia that I've since replaced, basically. So whenever it comes to farming, I really like to have food champions in my farming teams. However, I really like to have speed teams as well. Now, in the perfect world, I'd have those both in one team. Though if you're going fast, you're probably not bringing food champions. And if you're bringing food champions, you're probably not going fast. However, I now have a team that I believe hits both of those pretty well. I used to use Artak plus Mithrala, a duo for Spider Stage 10 hard, and that team would last about a minute and a half-ish. Now, that's not slow by no means, and that's fine if you just want to run it throughout the day, but my fastest team was 15 seconds, so it's 15 seconds here or a minute and a half down here. So it's kind of like, okay, let's meet in the middle. We'll add one more champion. So instead of a duo, we have a trio going on now, and we still have the spot for 2 food champions. And it's pretty fast. So let's go ahead and jump in here, check out how fast this team actually is, and I'll share with you guys the builds, and you can see if you can actually build something like this, because not only is it pretty fast, it's consistent, but it's also pretty easily accessible as far as the champions. The gear may be a little bit higher as far as requirements, but the gears, or the champions are, I mean, it's free champion Mithrala from Hydra. You have a fusion Newt, which if you missed, I'm sorry, because he's an amazing champion. And then Renegade, a void rare champion who hopefully you have a copy of, but if you don't and you have a Kymar, you can definitely use a Kymar instead. My Kymar, I switched him out because his build made it actually take a little bit longer because just the way the speed tune worked out. But there we go, 36 seconds. I am more than happy with that. So let's take a look at the presets. I want to go over the speeds before I actually click this. So what are the speeds you're actually looking for? Better yet, what are the speeds of Renegade that you're actually looking for? Because that's pretty important. So here's the Hell Hades website that gives the stages tool, the stages information. I love using this resource, very, very helpful. But for Spider's Den specifically on stage 10 hard, the spider boss goes at a speed of 245. You'll notice that my Renegade's a speed of 244 because I want her going right after the big spider takes a turn so that she can reset and we don't end up taking extra turns. Because if she's going at 246, well, she gets a turn and then the spider takes, it's just kind of weird and you get extra turns to your turn count, and I want to be fairly efficient with this. But also keep in mind, you're going to need 345 accuracy to place your debuffs, and resistance is kind of irrelevant because we're not trying to resist anything necessarily. But as far as the speeds of these champions go, outside of Renegade, we have Mithrala sitting at 303. Does she need to be that fast? No, she does not need to be that fast. She is zooming. I do have area bonuses for this, but honestly, I'd say like 280 is probably fine. 270, maybe even okay as well. But especially you want both her and Newt to be faster than the spider. So faster than 245, 246, somewhere around there. So as far as her presets go, it's very important to actually set this, especially if you have those masteries like Cycle of Magic, things that are going to reset your skill cooldowns, because you get into using things at the wrong time. So we have opening with the A2, and then priority A3, and then the A2 again. I'll go over the actual breakdown of the skills in the fight after we go over this. But for Newt, we have him opening with his A3, and then priority number 2, and then you guys can see this, okay? I don't want to explain the numbers. Okay, we got 1 on 2 and 2 on 1. What is going on here, right? So we have, as far as the stats go, we have 261 speed. We have decent accuracy, but we also have Mithrala in the lead for the accuracy aura, so his accuracy is more than fine. And if he misses some debuffs on some champions, it's not really that big of a deal because it's just the weaken anyways. He does plenty of damage, which is very important. You got to make sure you're built strong enough to do the enemy max HP cap every single time. 261 speed, good accuracy. There we go. Good defense as well. Plus, Mithrala gives increased defense, so even better for him. And then Renegade. She's just A1 on the A3. Oh, no, priority on the A3. Number 1 on the A3. And then the food champions, well, they're doing nothing because they're food champions to be leveled. Now, let's break down the actual turn order. So if you're somebody out there who wants to try to, work on this team yourself, and maybe it's not the exact same speeds, take this and go from there. So round 1, this is very important. You'll see 2 spiders dropping down in the back. Those 2 spiders don't have Hex. Very important, because those 2 spiders are not going to die. If Mithrala was to place Hex on every single little spider, the big spider is going to just do the damage, and she won't be able to have any spiderlings to eat. Now, if she eats the spiderlings this turn, that's going to be the best, because next turn, she won't eat the spiders. So you'll see in just a little bit what's actually going to happen. So she eats the 2 little spiderlings in the back. If we miss some hexes, it's no big deal. She'll eat a few more. But now we're going to come in, Renegade resets, Mithrala cleanses, and Newt does his A2. Now watch here, because the spider is not going to eat no spiderling. She's just going to do the big spray. That's very crucial because if she was to eat the spiderlings there, if you would have killed all the spiderlings in that first round, then it could be a little bit complicated considering, well, Newt's not going to have his weaken on the champions. The spider is going to get healed from the spiderlings, most important, and it could just be kind of weird in general. So now Mithrala is going to come around, do the hex. Newt's going to come in with his A3 and go ahead and drop the big spider. And it's going to be that easy. So one more time with regular 2x speed going, just so you guys can follow along, make sure you're understanding everything. Because if you don't reach these exact stats, that's no problem. But make sure Mithrala is the fastest. So the 2 spiders come down with no hex. Newt is going in here, A3, killing all the spiders except for 2. Renegade is not taking a turn. If you had her taking a turn there, it'd be okay because she would take a turn, 2 spiders would drop, and then the spider could eat those spiderlings. But now we have the cleanse, very important there as well because you don't want Newt sleeping. A sleepy Newt is a useless Newt, basically. So now he does his counterattack, which isn't necessarily ideal. I could probably use his A1, but it's not really that important, I don't think. If I use the A1, it may actually be better. Either way, 38 seconds, no problem. 14 turns, easy peasy. Though I am curious, just real quick, if I was to turn off his A2, no, it wouldn't work because he needs that number 1 priority. So I'll just leave that. Actually, he actually doesn't, though. If something was to reset from Cycle of Magic, he does need that on number 1 priority. So if he does have Cycle of Magic, which he does, and he was to have his A3 reset, then he's going to go A3 and then A3 again. Renegade's reset won't actually take Newt's A3 off cooldown because it's just a 2-turn reduction. So he'll still have 1 turn left. But if he reduces his own cooldown, that's where you're going to run into some issues. So as far as these champions builds go, let's take a look. So Newt and Spider, he's currently wearing Savage, which is really the most important part here. Though with Instinct, Lethal, of course, probably even some Cruel, or maybe even just random gear, you can probably hit the enemy max HP cap, which is like 1.5 million on Spider. And if you don't, I believe my Newt has like 1 or 2 hits that don't even get calculated because the last single hit just kills the spider because of the hex hits anyways. So you probably don't need to hit the enemy max HP cap, but if you can, you want to get as close to that as possible. Savage gear is not needed. It's just what I have. You can probably push these stats with just general sets, maybe even Cruel, and be more than okay. As far as the skills, I have Soul Reap, which is nice. I love Soul Reap for Sand Devil, Shogun, and Fire Knight. It's great for all those places, especially once you get into like the 5-star level, because then you're going to be hitting for the 10% max HP cap. Granted, Soul Reap is not going to do 14% damage necessarily, or if it does, it's not going to kill them. They're still going to have 4% HP left. So honestly, 3-star or even 4-star is really all you truly need, in my opinion. Now, masteries, we have Giant Slayer just to get a little extra damage squeaked out if you can. These are the masteries. Honestly, just copy these. These are what I'm using. These are the team setup. I use them in many different areas, so it's going to work well in all those different places also. And then we have Mithrala. So Mithrala is in Regeneration plus Immortal, but to be honest, I'm probably going to switch her gear because this is the build that I had her in when she was duoing with Artak, though she's not duoing with Artak anymore. So I don't truly need her in this build any longer. So she's 78,000 HP, good defense, good speed. She's pretty fast, but not really much accuracy / resistance. So most players use her with a lot of accuracy and resistance to resist a lot of stuff in the arena. Though at this point, I'm considering building her for some other stuff. I don't really know what. Maybe for some like dragon soloing, like get to the boss and solo. I have no clue what I'm gonna build her for, but regeneration is not needed by no means whatsoever, or immortal. It's really just making sure she's the fastest on the team. Honestly, being like 270 or 280 is probably going to be more than fine as well. The only thing I'd be careful with is when the spider does that eat and then attack, she decreases turn meter, and if she decreases it to 0, you get put to sleep. So if she's too slow, she may get put to sleep. So something to be mindful of there. And as far as blessings, we got Brimstone for like Hydra content, and then Masters, we have War Master as well for a little bit extra damage. Also, we're going to get for Hydra, basically. Sorry, I went completely blank. I guess her snakes like stun me or something. I don't know. Either way, Renegade is next. So Renegade, she is wearing Stone Skin. This is pretty important because like I mentioned, the turn meter decrease plus the sleep, if she's in Stone Skin, she can't be slept. So I have her in Stone Skin gear going 1 speed slower than the boss. So as soon as the boss takes a turn, then Renegade goes as well. So if Renegade is not built to be tanky enough, it's fine because she has Stone Skin. She's not going to die. She's going to be more than okay. Technically, since she's 244, she doesn't really need Stone Skin, I don't think. But either way, it doesn't matter. That's what she's in. She's in Stone Skin. I recommend you go in Stone Skin as well if you can. Get her in 1 piece of Stone Skin, 1 turn of Stone Skin, so 4 pieces of Stone Skin. It's going to be more than okay. The books don't really matter. You just need to use this one time. She could be level 40. She could be level 1 at 4-star, as long as you have some stone skin, as long as you have, actually that's just all. Just the speed to be where it's supposed to be, and then survivability. And she's going to be more than okay. Though if she's level 40, she may not survive the actual hit, so be mindful of that. And the food champions, obviously, they're food champions, so it doesn't matter what they are. They can be whatever you want them to be. I'm getting a phone call here. Hopefully something too important, but either way, most important thing here is finishing up this video for you guys. So if you want to go out and build your new Spiders 10 hard team, actually that was my wife calling, so that may be more important, but I got to finish this. So if you want to go out and build your Spider 10 hard team, this is going to be fantastic. You can go ahead, finish out the tournament for this fusion if you want to. If not, go ahead and work on it for CVC. My wife's texting me as well. Time to finish your video. Let's see, your budget is cut for the month. Okay, now she's asking about what the kids had for breakfast. So let's finish up the Spider video, guys. Actually, I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say. I got an awesome new Spider team that's pretty fast, but it's also farming food. A trio instead of a duo or instead of a solo, but it kind of gets the best of both worlds in my opinion. So I think this is the team that I'm going to be using, guys. It's excellent as far as the speed for me. Let me show you guys one more time how this works. And there's other teams that can do solo and duo content. Mithrala plus a Kemptom can do some duo stuff, though I think it's a little bit less consistent. This team really doesn't have any fail rate. Like Mithrala could miss most of the hexes or some of the hexes and be fine. Not most of them, I don't want to say that. But as long as your Newt is doing the max HP hit or very close to it, then it's probably going to be okay. I mean, watch this. Pay close attention for the 15th time. Pay very close attention. So Mithrala is going to cleanse, all right? Newt is going to do the A2. He gets weakened. So it's going to be even easier to hit the max HP hit. But matter of fact, his A3, what does it do? Well, let's go read that skill real quick, because most players probably don't even remember. I mean, hopefully you do. But his A3 ability, once we have some spiders spit on us real quick, it says, decreases the target's defense by 3%, stacks up to 30%. So the first hit, 3, 6, 9% decrease. Excellent. So now we come in, Newt, pay attention. One hit, it's all it needed. One hit, killed the big spider, killed all the spiderlings. We have 2 extra hits that were just excess. So the gear requirements for him is not even that high. I know that's going to be the biggest thing players look at and are like, you know, I can't do this team because I don't have those gear levels. Try it. See if you can push close to those numbers. The speed is the most important thing. Speed and the accuracy, of course, for Mithrala and even Newt, because the weekend is going to help you. But get those numbers. You don't have to have Savage gear. Try to be hitting pretty high in the max HP hits. You don't have to be doing the max HP cap every single time, but you want to be very close, because at the end there, I had 2 extra hits, which means I guess I had 2.5 million damage just extra in reserves, more or less. So that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of damage. I don't want to say you can go and drop the Savage gear off of him completely, because that may not be possible, though I'm actually kind of curious if I could do that. But I'm not trying to test it right now because that would make the video way too long. So guys, with that said, thank you all very much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I got a lot more videos coming out soon. I had some PC parts come in recently, and I ended up swapping my PC from an Intel platform over to AMD, and I had to re-download everything, of course. So I've been spending the last few days getting stuff organized, getting stuff downloaded, making sure the PC is actually running correctly. So a few little technical difficulties there, but I'm excited for it. I got a 7800 X3D, which was a pretty big upgrade, and I got it at a really good price. I got it from somebody on OfferUp, which is pretty cool. So if somebody out there who's interested in computers, maybe you find that interesting. But either way, hey, it's a pretty big upgrade from me. So either way, guys, with that said, thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.